tiles and things like that. But well, the strychnos is one of them. So let me show you. There are a bunch of different strychnos here, but I want to see if I can just find one. They don't even have a picture. There's a picture of the Madagascariensis, these ones. I hope you can get into this. Wait, no, hang on, that's the orange. The Madagascar. That's the black monkey orange. We've got the green monkey orange. Everything about them is the fruit. Fly, I'm going to turn you into a walk. Okay, have at it. What you want to fly. So I don't know if you got into that. There's another strychnos with those tiny little flowers also hidden amongst the leaves. And I can show you even now, there are a bunch of things that are coming into flower that have very, very small white, green, pale yellow, very inconspicuous flowers, and all they really want are solitary bees and certain types of flowers and maybe certain species of what. They certainly don't want to attract the attention of birds. So there are a number of birds that actually eat flowers. And the growing fruit. Hope that helps, Clancy. What's happening on the radio? Hello, David T. How are you, David? David, yes, they do make paper out of elephant dung. What I'll do, I mean, I wish I could. If I could, I would. If I could, I would. I'll try. When I go home after this, I'll try and learn how to make. Excuse me. Sorry, the radio there. If I could, I would say, okay, send me your address and I'll send you some elephant paper. If I could, I would even make the elephant paper myself from the dung of the elephants at my home, and maybe I'll start trying to figure out how to do it. Because you don't need electricity or anything, you need water and elephant dung and patience. I suppose a few other things. And then you're obviously going to need to sanitize it in some way. You can do it out of rhino dung, you can do it out of all sorts of dung. Because what is paper? Paper is plant pulp. What is dung? From the herbivores, it's plant pulp. You could make dung out of every single animal. Dung? No, paper. What did I say? Dung. I said dung. No, the animals make the dung. Sorry. You can make paper out of every kind of animal dung. Not carnivores. Please. Emphasis on the not carnivores part of that. You cannot use you cannot use meat eaters. You can only use herbivores. And where did you come from? While I was playing boule, you were hiding in the bushes. We would follow you. But you can find in almost every single curio shop in South Africa, and there are a lot of them because people come to visit Africa, and I don't care who you are, where you come from, or your social status, or your religious status, or it doesn't matter. You're a human being. When you come to Africa, there is something that sparks inside of you that says, this is your root. This is the root of all. This is, I don't know, there's something about this. There's something about Africa that just ignites something in everybody, and 99% of the people who come to Africa leave Africa thinking, gee, I've got to come back here. And it's mostly this kind of a thing, this return to our roots, this return to this being immersed in a wildlife environment like this. That's why people come here. It's why the tourism business is booming. It's why there are a lot of, because people come here and they get this feeling that it doesn't matter if there are a bunch of other Land Rovers or minibuses with pop tops. It doesn't matter about all of that. I'm seeing an animal in the wild. There's something igniting in me that takes me back to the time when we were hunter-gatherers and we lived without all the trappings of modern life, and this is what we were. We were part of this. And it's that grounding that I think you can find in Africa more than you can find in any continent, with any number of human relics of the human past. No amount of pyramids or fancy monuments or sparkly cathedrals or nothing that man has built can match the raw power that nature can expose, that you can be exposed to by being in nature. There's no amount of what humans have created that can do that. Not in my opinion. So I was going somewhere with that, but I really got emotional because there's something that keeps me at it, that means more to me than anything else on the planet. That almost rhymes. Okay, change the subject. Aaron, what you got for me? Hi Shanae in New Zealand. How are you? Good morning. This evening. Actually no, New Zealand's in the middle of the night. Gosh. Okay, you are almost in the morning even. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if you're after midnight. What time difference? 10 hours? Yeah. Okay. So probably well into the early morning afternoon. Where do you find monkey oranges? It seems that there's a very healthy population of monkey orange here in Thornybush. Every now and then we bumped into monkey oranges in Duma, and very, very even fewer. The species tends to get thinner. Distribution gets a little bit less as we go north up into the Thornybush, but you do get them up all the way up into East Africa. Strychnos, the genus, is quite extensive, but they're not a very common tree generally. But here, for some reason, there are a couple of patches where there is sort of I wouldn't say invasion, but there are many forests of monkey orange. We're going to go and look for the monkey orange for Shanae. And also Shanae, hope Diane's feeling better. I heard Diane, but a little birdie told me Diane's not feeling well. So hope Diane's feeling better. And Aaron says, how's it? How's New Zealand? Okay, what we're going to lose off of the front here if we go down this. Brace yourself. I want to see if there's anything other than insects in these pools, but a little bit muddy. There's been buffalo in here today. You can see their tracks across my tire tracks from this morning. If you have a look down ahead of us, Aaron and I passed through here this morning and there are buffalo tracks in the mud here. So they've been lying in the water and there have been buffalo here. There's actually a very nice pool just to the west of us that we don't have access to. It's the last surface water in the Thornybush River. And I stalled on the lip of a precipice. I stalled. Got the little snail trails in the water. There's definitely aquatic snails, and they quite possibly, now that it's not flowing so much anymore, could harbour bilharzia. The parasite bilharzia, which spends part of its cycle in the snail and part of the cycle in the human, or the cat, or the bovid. Hello, Ellen, in Illinois. How are you, Ellen? Sorry, we're going back into the sun, folks. Nothing to see here. Because I want to go look for elephants. I don't think they came this way. Hoping that they might have been down on the river. They might still be. But we've got to retrace our steps from this morning to see where they crossed my path from this morning. Alan, that's why I asked you. I asked the audience, why is it called a monkey orange? Because I actually don't know. It's possible because the monkeys do relish the fruit, and it takes them a while to break open the fruit, but they eventually do, and so every now and then we see a place where they might have, but where they've fed on the fruit, but they've eaten all around the seeds, and they've just taken the fruit itself. I'll give up with this tree. Who knows why the botanists call things the way, by the names that they do, and why they decide they have to change them every now and then, because well, I know in some cases why they reclassify them, because in the past, to a large extent, things were placed in families based on physical appearance and physical features of the flower or the fruit or whatever the case may be, but that somehow DNA and genetics are able to, we're able to sort of make closer connections to things that don't necessarily have anything to do with physical features, physiology as we call it. So now the question is, Thanks, Flick. La Pétanque. I assume is the pronunciation. Flick. I mean, Fabienne in Canada. In Quebec, but not Quebec City. Fabienne saying the name of the game is La Pétanque. Le Pétanque. Le ou la. La Pétanque. Okay, pétanque, 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 pétanque. That game, that French game, okay? That French game with balls that you throw at another ball. It's like the French version of bowls on a lawn, except you don't roll them, you toss them. Hello, giraffe. Let's see if we come in from this angle, then maybe the giraffe not so much into the sun. Two bulls. Thanks, Flick. Hey Jennifer, hello to you. And Jennifer's also in Canada, so we're with the Canadians this afternoon. Go Canada, go Canucks. Are monkey orange the same as monkey fruit? I don't know. But Jennifer's saying she's got a monkey fruit candle holder from South Africa. But I tell you what, Jennifer, if you can describe it to me, or send me a picture even. Obviously I can't get a picture on Drive, but I can look at it after Drive. The picture is probably better than a description. Then I can tell you what it is, because I don't know what they call a monkey fruit. And it could very well be a monkey orange. If it's round like this monkey orange and it's sort of cut in half and it's got, maybe. All of the strychnos, all of the monkey oranges. Monkey fruit, I'm not sure of anything that is specifically called a monkey fruit. Might be somebody, somebody calling it monkey fruit. It might be something entirely different. Or as Monty Python would say, something completely different. Monkey fruit that's not a monkey fruit. A monkey fruit that is a monkey orange, or a monkey fruit that isn't a monkey orange. But I could look in my book quickly while we're looking at giraffe. And I'm also listening for elephants, by the way. See if what they got on the monkeys. Because you get monkey pods, you get two different species of things that are called monkey pods, so there could be a number of things called monkey fruit. And this brings me back to the same thing that I always say, scientific names are so important. Doesn't matter what it is called, its common name, doesn't matter what it's called colloquially. The scientific name or the botanical name is its name, and that's what you've got to go by. Which is not always evident when you're buying curios from a curio shop. And they just label something as a monkey fruit. And I'm going to tell you, oh, that's Rumix Sagittarius. Yes, Aaron, Yebo. Sylvania, Soteria, Cedar, Strychnos. Actually, what we want the English name, monkeys. Oh, Roma. Shalom. Hello, Roma. Nice to hear from you. Monkey thorn, monkey stain, monkey orange, nothing in here called a monkey fruit. green monkey orange. Let's see what she says about it. Because Anita Fabian, who had made this book, Loganiaceae, the elder family, by the way, they belong to the wild elder family. 30 genera, 400 species. Tropics and subtropics of the Old and the New World. In Southern Africa, 5 genera and about 22 species, of which the Naxias, the Gomphostigmas, the Buddleias are all the false olives. They're all part of it. Strychnos actually is an ancient Greek name given to various poisonous plants. So no, this book doesn't really give me any info. Maybe my tree book. But I think, Jennifer, the best thing to do would be maybe to send me a picture of your candle holders that are called monkey fruit. I don't really know. I've never really heard of anything called a monkey fruit. But I'm looking at my tree book now. That was just my flower book. My tree book, yes. And also thanks for the email, whoever it was, or the message through Facebook, to please post something on my page, the list of books that I'm using. I will try and do that. I shall do. Monkey pod, monkey thorn. But monkey thorn is an acacia, and the monkey pod, well, I'm assuming that they're referring to the senna monkey pod, the senna sanguiana, when they call it a monkey pod in the tree book, rather than the creeper that you find in East Africa, because you don't get that creeper here in South Africa. Page 426. And yes, senna, the monkey pod, which we even have here. They're not flowering. No monkey fruit, Jennifer, sorry. I don't know monkey fruit. That's why. Please send me a picture. Okay, giraffe, you're not telling me anything, are you? The wind's picking up. Saturday afternoon here in South Africa. I hope you're enjoying. Well, you are joining us. I hope you're going to enjoy what we have to offer. Starting off with some 2 giraffe bulls that have been fairly relaxed until I decided to get a bit closer. He's now moving away. Looking down into the riverbed. I wonder why. I wouldn't get his head. No. Find the gap, maybe. No, just too many trees in the way. No. Okay. Alright, we'll leave these giraffe boys. Although it'll be nice to say. It's beautiful light now. Late afternoon light. Not as bright as it was when we started. Don't even need my shade. Diving into the sun. A lot easier on the eye. So, that is a very, very good question, Ellen, because either it's instinctive or they are taught by their mothers. But then there has to be something there that stops them from doing it as a child to inadvertently eat them. And we could probably extend that question into a lot of many different things, because there are a lot of, let's call them poisonous fruits out there. And very good question. How indeed do things know not to eat them? Although every now and then something does eat something toxic by accident. I remember when I was in California, there was a problem. I think, what was it? Was it the California star thistle or something? Horses were eating it. And when I come to think of it, the only time that I've actually heard of animals eating something that they shouldn't, they're domestic animals. Goats that get themselves into something that they shouldn't. Horses that get them into. But for some reason, I think nature, the animal, the species itself, wouldn't survive if that mechanism wasn't there to prevent them from eating something that they shouldn't eat. And it comes back to the same thing that I've always been saying from way, way back, is that maybe, just maybe, that is why mammals are the way they are. Why nature has made us mammals. Why it is important for females to have mammaries, to have, to lactate, to provide milk for their kids, so that perhaps in the very process of feeding and nurturing their children, they're transferring all sorts of information of the very food that they're eating, because the very food that they're eating could be flavoring their milk, so that when the child starts weaning itself, it recognizes that taste in whatever it is eating as, yes, this is what my mother ate, because that's not a conscious thing. The brain triggers it. That is okay to eat, because there were those alkaloids or those proteins or those whatever it is, that was what was in the milk, and that's what then tells them they can eat it or not. But it is a good question. I have to be honest, I don't know the answer to that. I'm gonna stop and listen for a bit. Maybe it's just something that is passed down over generations, that you can eat that part but not that part. One of the wonders of nature. If there was a chance that a baby would eat a seed and get sick or die, then nature wouldn't have created it. Stop that. Too much wind. Yeah. Hear anything? So it would be very interesting to know whether there is actually, because I only go by what I've been taught in my learning path, whether there really is strychnine in the strychnine seeds, or that they might just be poisonous, and it might just be that they were called that because it comes from a Greek word which virtually means poisonous or poisonous. In fact, it would be also interesting to learn if there's anybody who's Greek out there to give me a direct translation of the name strychnos, or any name that has the same, or any word that has the same etymology for that matter. Yes, Aaron. So thanks to Clancy and Vivian, some information of note, having looked at the monkey fruit. It doesn't mean much to me listening to the names over the radio. The Garcinias I'm familiar with, but the other two families of plants I don't know. I'll certainly look into it. I'll look into the names that have come up and see. But also be interesting to get a photograph from Jennifer to see what actually was used to create a candle holder that was called an African or South African monkey fruit. I mean, my mind immediately goes to the fact that someone's going to just create something out of nothing and go, oh, let's call it a South African monkey fruit. Instead of selling it for $5 as a candle holder, we'll sell it for $35 as a South African monkey fruit candle holder. And I don't want to put down Jennifer's candle holders. I don't want to belittle them all. But when I just hear monkey fruit, it doesn't really mean much. And I'm getting explanations for things that could refer to anything in 3 different families, not about different genera, 3 different families of plants. Or is it genera? Still, even if it was genera, there's still many. So everything from a tiny little berry or raisin bush fruit to a monkey orange. And that's just briefly back to my original point. Common names mean nothing. And 7 by 1. Now that we're at Nanzan Road, I want to stop and listen to the other radio and see what's happening Saturday afternoon. They're still only talking about those lions. I think we'll go down Nanzan and go up Langwan Road to Langwan Dam. Approach the dam from the western side because of the sun. Okay, Aaron, I'm ready. So, still in the United States of America. Hey, Norm in Tennessee, are there any animals out here that are not afraid of being killed by another animal? No. And that's why there aren't any animals that aren't afraid of getting killed by any other animal, because an animal that is not afraid of getting killed, what happens? Gets killed. So yeah, Norm, every single animal here has to be alert for danger. That's survival. Even if you don't have predators, there are unknowns, and you have to be alert. other crossing, not the eastern one. Well, often I'm faced with a dilemma when it comes to showing you different things that have happened in nature. This is one thing that I was thinking I could show you, or I can't, because I don't know, some of you will get upset, and actually it's after the fact, so you can't get upset. It's one of those things. I found a nightjar. It has been killed, but unfortunately it's been killed by a vehicle that must have come through here during the night last night, because the only time a nightjar would be vulnerable will be when a vehicle is driving with lights on. As you might know, maybe in the States you get the frog mouths and you get the whippoorwills, and in Europe you get the nightjars as well. They come out and they sit on the roads at night, and if you're driving, you don't necessarily have to be driving fast, but the mere fact that you have lights on, whether it's a nightjar or an owl, the fact is that you're blinding the animal, and it can't fly because it can't see what is beyond that light, and it doesn't want to fly into a tree, so it just sort of flies into the beam of light. So this is a nightjar, sadly, poor child. It has been completely crushed. I can go through the injuries just feeling it. Broken neck, crushed skull, broken leg, broken wing. But we so seldom get a chance to actually look at something that I've decided that I am going to show to you, because I have to show you the beauty of something that we hear about often. We talk about them. We hear them in the evenings. They are probably one of the most incredible wonders of nature when we look at it in its entirety. But then whatever I speak about when it comes to nature can be exactly that. Everything in nature is one of the most incredible inventions of nature itself. What I can show you is that we can identify it based on this wing pattern, based on the number of spots in the wing and the barring. I mean, this is such a beautiful bird, it's unbelievable. We can identify it based on not only the outer tail. This is an outer tail rectrices over here with the white on it, but by the color of the feather on the outer edge versus the color of the feather on the inner edge can help with identifying the species. The fact that it has these very mottled feathers in the center of its tail, and as the outer tail broadens out, it has these two feathers on the outer edge that have these white patches on them. This poor child didn't even stand a chance. This vehicle must... And you know what? The other thing is that you can't really blame whoever it was, because this is not a place where you can drive fast. This must have been driving very, very slowly, but just not paying attention. Perhaps the tracker with the spotlight, not looking at the road. Perhaps the guide. Who knows? This can only be a game drive vehicle, and sadly this is the result of it. As far as the facial features are concerned, or rather the coloring of the face, it's very puffed up, so it's very hard to see. My guess is, based on this beautiful coloring on the back of the neck, that it's a fiery neck nightjar, but I'm about to pull out my book and we're about to have a look and try and identify it a little bit better. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm going to try and show you something on the skull now, what is left of the left side of it. The right side is, unfortunately, the right side of the skull is what was driven over, but at least this left side of the skull is still pretty intact. But very, very interesting are a series... I don't know if you can see that against my finger, the color. They look like eyelashes. Can you see that? I don't know. It might be just so fine that you can't see it on camera. But a series of incredible, very, very hard whiskers on the side of the face. And they're probably almost as thick as a cat's whisker at the base, and they thin out very, very quickly, and it's right at the side of the mouth. Now this is a bird that has an exceptionally large gape to the beak. It has a gape that can swallow probably an entire locust, although they do specialize in certain insects that fly around at certain times of the night. But if I can show you the gape of the mouth, I can almost fit my entire index finger in the gape of its mouth. Not many birds have that, but that is because this is a bird that hunts its prey on the wing at night. It sits down low on the ground, on an open patch of ground, so that it has a much wider space of sky above it to be able to hunt those insects that are flying against the starlight and the moonlight up above. And Most insects that fly have membranous wings, and it's those membranous wings that actually look like fairy wings to anything down below them, and it makes it very easy for these creatures to hunt them. But in the act of actually flying up and trying to catch the insect, it's got these whiskers on the side of its face that help it to actually funnel that insect in flight into its mouth. They don't catch with their feet like some of the falcons and kestrels. But really, it's just so sad. This poor child didn't stand a chance. Such an incredibly beautiful bird. Shedding feathers. And this begs the question: what was it? How is it possible that nature creates something so intricate and so beautiful with earthy colors, and just for a bird that flies at night, apart from the fact that it has to remain concealed during the day, and that's exactly what it does. I mean, if I had to put it amongst this leaf litter right now, as it is now, you probably wouldn't even be able to see it. It would become virtually invisible to the camera. But just every single feather is different. Every single feather has a minute variation on it that creates this entire plumage of perfect camouflage. So that is Caprimulgus. I'm going to have a look now and see if I can see in the books which and I'm also going to hold on to it. It hasn't started rotting yet. I'm going to hold on to it because I want to look at it further as well. Maybe take some photographs. But really sad. The other thing that is illegal that some guys do, and if I ever catch a guy doing it, I'll cut his arms off, is because they get mesmerized by the light, some of the guys actually jump out and they grab them and they, oh, big macho, I caught a nightjar at night, and then they show their guests. And although it's legal in guiding circles, it does still happen. And what guides don't know is that it actually damages the feathers and it makes them not as aerodynamic as they could or should be. Anyway, so let me just have a look quickly. The Caprimulgiforms. Here are the wing patterns and the tail of this might have been the freckled nightjar. Actually, no, not Europe. Can't be European. Because European fiery neck. Yeah, right. So now I've got to bring it up again. Are you able to see the book? Yeah. Okay. Unfortunately, with nightjars, it's very foolish to try and identify a nightjar merely with it sitting down or flying. And the only way you can really identify a live nightjar is when it is calling a biologist and just be real about it. So where are we? We've got a lot of pale. There's no pale in the rufous tick. There's a lot of pale in the fiery neck. We've got half white outer tail rectrices. We're looking definitely at the male of the species. If I look at the underwing, there's the underwing on this side. There's the underwing compared to this one. Yeah. And then we've got to look at the tail. I'm sorry, I know this might be undignified for the poor child, but there are only two, and they're really not that much white at the bottom as there is in the fiery neck. The fiery neck nightjar has been calling quite a lot lately, by the way. So I'm guessing that actually not a male, it might actually be a female. No, it's not. There's no white on the outer edge. And that white goes higher. Rufous cheek, maybe. You see, even with the bird in my hand, I'm finding it difficult. But they're starting to look more like the female of the rufous. Could it even be rufous cheek? Yeah, sort of orange buff, not rufous collar. And the other thing is actually the whole 6 square tailed Mozambique. Square tailed. No, definitely not a square tailed. So we're looking at fiery neck, which has got the rufous collar. Stop it, wind. I'm looking at my book. It's hard to see because the feathers are so puffed up. Yeah, no, I'm still going with fiery neck. Definitely fiery neck. That rufous collar. That's probably the female. Sorry, Dave. This is Dave's book, by the way. Not Dave on the back, Dave in England. Benoni Dave. So let's see now. That's with the female's wing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bands. 3, 4, 5 bands. Not seeing too much barring on the forewing, but probably fiery neck, quittiles. Anyway, enough time spent on this sad soul. In any case, that's just the body. It's the dead body, so it's like picking up a dead stick, which is just a dead piece of a tree, which was once living and is now dead. There's no difference to it. What I will do is for the sake of most of you, I'll put on a little bit of sanitizer because I've been touching a dead creature. And I'll try not to eat with my hands or put my fingers in my mouth or suck my thumb in the next hour or so. Oh, wait. Missing something. Missing that pesky little thing that sticks down in my ear. It keeps getting caught on everything. Okay, I need to turn up channel 2 a bit. Please tell me that at least somebody heard it. It's just so frustrating when... Okay, volume's up all the whole time. Also, it's difficult. Some person might send in an email saying that we've got no sound, and then it sours me. I'm sorry, but it does. I'm talking to you about something really from the depth of my heart, and then I get a message to say that nobody can hear me, and then I wonder, what am I talking about? Why am I even talking? But hopefully most or some people could hear me. I don't know. Sorry, it's just a touch of dampener. Okay, changes. I've growled. Now I'm feeling better. give me that name again, please. Yeah, but just the name. If you can spell it, please. Doris. Hello, Doris. In Maryland. Are there different types of night jaws out here? And what do they call sound like? Although hopefully you know what the whippoorwill sounds like. The whippoorwill in North America. So that is a night jar, and our night jar, especially the fiery neck, which I'm thinking is this one. They do sound very similar. I can't mimic it very well. I can try. I suppose the whippoorwill is something like that. But the night jars, some of our night jars are very similar, but we do have a number of night jars like the Mozambique night jar and the pennant wing night jar. Some of the night jars have these wonderful long, there's a buffalo, long trills sound like little miniature motors, like a little tank pump. It's like this monotonous sound. Some of them it's a braking sound. You would have to, I guess, try and find a way to get those sounds on the internet to hear them. It's hard for me to describe sounds, but easier to be able to try and hear them. Hello, Duggar boys. And there are a lot of dinosaurs. You're a big boy, aren't you? Gosh, look at the size of you. You can just... And he's... I mean, look at the difference. His horns almost curling back into the back of his head, and his horns are so far from his head. If only we can just get to see him. A whole bunch of big old Duggar boys here. See, here's a good shot. That's magnificent. Both cameras even. Hey, old man. Okay, great. That's also nice, even with all the flies, looking at those boys through there. Now that he's gone, he's a huge bull, this one on the right, but those guys on the left. Also big, but just with the light behind them and the flies flying around their faces. Got to be a nice shot. I might need to go forward a little bit. Do you think? Oh, it's too late. Or back even. I just thought that that's just such a beautiful shot with it. But now there's too much sunlight. Maybe we can get that effect with this big bull. So what made it nice is we had the shade from the trees above us. The other alternative is just to head down Cheshire north and have a look at some more. Thanks for the email, Vivian. Sorry. Vivian. Saying that most people heard what I was talking about. I'm sorry if your volume was too low, that was on your side, but sounds like our volume was good enough, I guess. But it does always worry me sometimes. It's not the same effect as having the sun behind them. So now we're in the wrong place. I can't see either one of the heads. Unless you're looking. Yeah, and he's just... There we go. Oh. Saturday. So we got clubbing tonight.
I think so, yeah.
Put on our sequin suits and German shoes. No, how about a white tux and German and my evening hat. We'll go clubbing. Oh, and the moon's getting bigger. Oh, Mildred! Oh, you! Not showing herself today. Our crocodile. No hippos yet today. We haven't been here for a couple of days actually, come to think of it. We've got a hornbill digging through old buffalo dung looking for termites and other little grubs. I think one of the reasons why I was so reluctant to actually do that night out thing was that I was thinking somewhere somebody's going to tune in a little bit too late and they're not going to understand this whole story, and I'm going to be holding a dead night out and somebody's going to put two and two together and think that I did it. No, I don't want to sound like Bill Clinton. I did not. Okay, for the record, it is physically impossible to run over a nightjar during the day because they are very sensitive to movement and vehicles and things. And they will, if they were, they wouldn't even be lying in the road during the day. They're hiding under thick bushes in ground nests and ground roosting sites where you never see them. Hardly ever. I have to admit, there are times when I bumped into nightjars on foot where I've disturbed them under bushes. But we came across this nightjar. It was dead already. It's been dead since last night sometime. Probably since the game drives were out last night at night. And I was talking and something was called in on the radio. Anyway, I think we can go there. Okay, let's move. So no, we came across that nightjar. It was dead already, folks. It's been dead for some time. since last night. Excuse me, Hornbill. When you drive slowly, you can't drive over birds when you drive the speed that we do. Bye bye, Hornbill. Go back to your picking through dung now. Such a lovely afternoon. It's like warm. It's almost like springtime. Uncanny. Okay, question time, because there are a lot of them. Marianne in Iowa. Hi, Marianne in Iowa. Are there wild dogs in Thornybush? Well, they were today. They weren't yesterday. They're not likely to be tomorrow, but they were today. So, today I can answer yes to that question. There were wild dogs way up in the north. So far up in the north, and not even the guides from Royal Malawan and down here could get to see them, because it was such a brief sighting this morning. So today there were some wild dogs came in. They've probably gone again. Who knows? So far up north. Next question, please. We'll have to wait till we get back. Stay on the top of this ridge. The signal's pretty good. There's a sudden change in direction because there was a road. Okay. No good. Hello, Caitlin. And Carrie, of course. Hello, Carrie. Nice to hear from Carrie. Carrie's daughter, Caitlin. Hello, Caitlin. How long do the Duggaboy bulls live for? I think about 30, 35 years. I'm not really sure, Caitlin. I've never lived with one long enough to know how long it lived for. But I think up to about 30 years, 30, 35 years. I don't know how many times I've done this in the book. It just doesn't stick in my brain, because you've got to live with them and know individuals to There's only so much I believe from books. Or the internet for that matter. Bovids, buffalo, bovids. Genealogy, 15 million years, 1.5 million years, blah 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 blah. Blah horns and bongo. This is about all the spiral. No, wrong animal. Okay, go back to buffalo. Not related. Females. No, that's forest buffalo. I want African buffalo. Oh, they're just combining them both, are they? Three-legged. 26. Jonathan says 26 years. Jonathan is one of the foremost zoologists, mammalogists in Africa. He says 26 years. I'm sure that you will find that there's been a buffalo that lived for 30, and there have been buffalo that haven't even reached 20. So it is an average, not a precise number, but Caitian, I hope you'll accept that. 26 odd years. I'd say 30 maybe. Who knows? Depends on the lion population. Depends on the grazing, the abrasive quality of the grasses they're eating, whether their teeth wear down quicker. I suppose to some degree the amount of dust and grit on the grasses that they're eating. Okay, we might lose a bit of signal now because we're going around to Naleti Road. Oh, we're running out of fuel. That's what it is. Yeah. Hopefully we'll get home. I have a microphone in front of my fuel gauge. I can. How's the signal? Okay. Let me look. Go. Okay, my tongue fell over my eye tooth and I couldn't see what I was saying. Okay, because I know we're going to maybe lose signal going on to that extension of Ilkley Loop. So before I go there, let's get through this question, and then I'll get through that no signal or bad signal area. What? Okay, so we've back down to about a second delay. Yes, please. Let's have a question about elephants. I'm always keen on elephant questions. It depends. Huh. What animals are the elephant's biggest enemies or threats? And that comes from Jonathan. Where's Jonathan from? From Jonathan Butler. But there was a singer, Jonathan Butler, from Canada. Are you the South African Jonathan Butler? Jonathan, ex-SA, expat. Jonathan Butler wants to know what are elephants' biggest threats. Well, that's a no-brainer at this point in time, because human beings right now are probably the biggest threat to elephants. Human beings are killing elephants in Africa at the rate of probably around 300, no, not that many, 100 animals a day. 100 elephants every single day in Africa right now are being slaughtered for tusks because they're corrupt governments, and there's this demand by the Middle East, Far East, wherever it may be, Philippines, Indonesia, for ivory, for a whole host of different things, because humans have to place a value on something so precious. Knowing so little about them, and knowing that as a living creature they are far more precious and far more valuable to us than as a block of ivory on a carving table. Having said that, if we weren't here, the greatest threat to elephant would obviously be perhaps climate and drought. Elephants are very, very restricted in their diet in terms of the different types of things that they can eat. They're very water dependent, and drought certainly kills off a lot of them. The other thing that is now starting to become, in some places, it's not a threat to the population of elephants as a whole in Africa, but certainly is a threat to some elephants in some parts of Africa where lion have started hunting them. The threat to them in those particular places are lion, big prides of lion that have learned how to hunt elephant and are hunting elephant and have become quite successful about it. I know of a pride of lion in Tanzania. I know of a pride of lion or several prides up in Botswana, in Chobe, and of course there is supposedly a pride of lion up in the northern part of Kruger as well that has started taking down elephants. And generally speaking, that tends to only happen when elephant populations are very, very healthy, where elephant numbers are high, and so are the survival rate of calves is very, very high. And when elephant populations increase and they get to a particular point, it's like any animal on earth for that matter, that is a social animal that reaches an overpopulation status, that there are certain breakdowns in the population, within the species, that become their own worst enemy. And one of the things that we found looking at so many different social species throughout history is that when there is an overpopulation, one of the first things that does break down is maternal care and social cohesiveness within a group, which ordinarily would protect calves against things like lion, but in places where high populations are allowing these elephants to drop their guard to some extent, lion are actually getting in and they're killing even up to sub-adults and even young adults, which is remarkable, frightening. To think of a pride, I've never seen it. I've only seen lion eating a calf. Very must be frightening to actually watch that kill. For me, quite harsh, quite severe. But up until now, at the moment, unless something has been done, and I know that President Obama of the States placed a lot of money in pushing a lot of money into Africa for anti-poaching or for the control of poaching of things like elephant and in particular rhino. It was a very heavy gunshot. It was a very high caliber, 375, 450. Anyways, there's a lot of money going into anti-poaching, but it's got to go from the top down. It can't go from the bottom up. You can't keep plowing money into anti-poaching patrols and trying to deal with it on the ground, because when you take out 5 poachers, you're going to have 15 other guys coming in to poach where there were 5. Same scenario whether you're trying to take a jackal out of a hen house, or a jackal taking out a jackal that's raiding a hen house. You take out one dominant male and suddenly you're going to have 5 sub-adult males because you've got a dominant male no longer guarding his territory. So that's the evils of that. You've got to go to the top. Where's the stuff going? Where's all the money coming from? Those people at the top of these syndicates, the people that are controlling the finances of this all, those are the people that have to be brought down. And unfortunately, because so much money is involved, it's our government, it's the governments of the countries where the ivory is going. These things could not happen without the consent or the bribery of government officials. So, government. And we are supposed to be the people that elect our government. But we're doing something wrong. If we're electing people that are so corrupt and so greedy and so money hungry that they'll allow their natural resources to be depleted and destroyed. So there's your answer. Human beings are killing elephants, lion, rhino, animals, wildlife, nature. Biggest threat to the planet. This is what people don't realize. It's the planet. It's a living organism, the entire planet, the Gaia hypothesis. We're not just taking out big animals that are wonderful creatures to live with. Dolphins, whales. They're vital to molesters and rape and violent offenders. Okay, signal better. Good. Hello, Angie. 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 Hello, Angie. Asked the question before about rabies, but Angie's wondering if people are, if there's law about vaccinating rabies. Yes, there is. But unfortunately, you see, Angie, Africa works in a different way to North America because the rural and expanse, the rural nature of Africa, or rather, you can't get all the dogs in cats, mostly dogs. There was a rabies outbreak in KwaZulu-Natal of recent time. Penny probably can help me out on this because Penny lives in KwaZulu-Natal, but we had a rabies outbreak where there were even some really sad deaths due to rabies from rabid dogs, and kind-hearted people not knowing that rabies was there and trying to help these dogs who appeared sick and then getting, of course, you know, rabies it's not something to be sneezed at. Rabies will kill you. You've got a very short period of time to get a shot or something to help control. But if you don't get to it in time, there's nothing that will save you. There's nothing on this planet that once rabies is in your system, you are going to die. Simple. Boom, that's it. And it's because of that, it's that very reason that when there was this outbreak in KwaZulu-Natal, that the MEC for Health and Safety, I think it was, or one of the ministers made a declaration that if you do not have your animals vaccinated, you will be had for homicide, well, not homicide, but culpable homicide or whatever. You will be held responsible for a person's death should it occur. And so there was a big thing about it. And I think it woke the country up a little bit. And yes, hopefully laws do exist that make it vital, make it an essential part of pet owning, to make sure that your pets are vaccinated against rabies. Angie's saying that it's law in North Carolina. I'm sure it is in a number of other states. Rabies is not something you want spread. In fact, if I remember correctly, there was even an article when I was in the States and we were looking at when we were busy with the bat studies. We were looking at going to Florida to look at the first known cases of fruit bats coming into the US from the Caribbean. Of course, I don't think fruit bats would carry rabies, but certainly the insectivorous bats, I think, they had discovered that even bats could carry rabies and transmit it through their saliva or something. So it's not a fun thing, and I remember there was even a program in the Sabi Sand when we used to be going live from Juma, when we used to broadcast from there. It was around about the time I think that I started, about 2009 or so, that they were actually darting all the predators in the Sabi Sand. They went through this program to try and control it, because there were also outbreaks outside of the Kruger, and they wanted to make sure that they wouldn't lose any predators, because predators are vital to the environment. But they started vaccinating the predators, and that was through a darting them, and a dart that fell out once it injected its content. Yo! Yeah, boy. Yes. I'm sure that's not from Karen, but yes. Oh. Thanks, Karen. I did try and emphasize that point this morning. And I suppose I should never even mention it, because I know how people talk and how it just spreads that it becomes uncontrollable. I know absolutely nothing about this three-legged leopard, other than there's supposedly a leopard that, whether it's lost a leg or just a broken, I have absolutely no information. I can't even find out information. It's a myth or a legend, or it's I don't know. All I can say is I really don't know. Sorry. I really don't know anything about this leopard, other than when we had a meeting with Juan from Royal Malawan, he mentioned something about it, and then we were with the leopard the other day, and some guy came over the radio and asked me if it's limping, if it was maybe that one, but I thought that the other leopard was supposed to be up there in the northeast, and this was the leopard that was down there in the southwest. So unfortunately, folks, and Karen, drop the subject. We're not going to find out about it. We're not going to see it. It's a leopard that is a wonderful piece of nature surviving, and again, all adaptability about a leopard who had a broken leg or something like that, and is managing to survive quite well. It's like the elephants that we've seen with broken trunks, or part of their trunks missing. Obviously, for a prey species, it's not going to work very well, because three-legged impala is not going to run as fast, so it's not going to last very long. But a three-legged person is still going to be able to stalk things, find a way to make a living. Handicapped animals, another subject at another time. But can we just drop the three-legged leopard thing, please? I don't know how to even find out about it. Next. Oi, vey. Clancy? That's quite a question. Clancy in Ohio. What is the one animal in Africa that I haven't seen that I want to see? Chimpanzees, gorillas, bongos. No, I've seen bongos, but they were in captivity. Okapi, giant pang. Oh no, Clancy, the list is endless. Hundreds of animals, the numbers, the innumerable species of duiker that you get in the forests of Central and West Africa, the innumerable species of monkeys and primates, apart from the great apes like the gorillas and the chimps, the forest elephants, the golden cat, hundreds of animals that I wish I could see. Here's a broken open monkey orange. There were actually pieces lying on the ground further back. I can show you something. Oh, it has some eggs. I mean eggs. Ants. Oh, I'm just going to tap the ants out. Sorry, ants, you can find it later. Where should we put it? Here. In the sun. You can see this is a casing, this little, that's where a seed used to be. There's another place where a seed used to be, but all the fruit is eaten around where the seeds were. There aren't any seeds in here. All the seeds have been taken, picked out, probably by a baboon, picking them out with its fingers so that it can eat the seeds, eat the fruit rather. Oh, I can see a big baboon spider's burrow. But there, see, look at that. Very thick, woody shell to the monkey orange. Okay. I can't even break this. I managed to, that was probably because it was cracked already. I managed to get a small piece. But very, very woody. So you'll break a baseball. You try and hit that with a baseball bat, you'll break a baseball bat. I don't know. Can you see where my foot is? No. I don't want to disturb it because it's sleeping for the winter anyway. There's a big burrow there that's about maybe 2 inches in diameter that has got a baboon spider in it, which is an African tarantula essentially. Okay, I think we're going to run out of fuel. That was from Hadley in Victoria. I think we're in trouble. I think I've run out of petrol and I don't know. I suppose. Oh, that's the petrol issue. Damn, how are we going to do this? Nico's not there. Garen's car won't make it. I have to be there to bring my Land Rover here. Aish. Has he got his bucky there, Ryan? Aaron? See, we've got to take this microphone away from here. It's not working for me having a microphone right there where the petrol gauge is. Going to take quick not as far as we can. I might just have to run home quickly and go and fetch my Land Rover. See if we can just get this engine going long enough to get me a little bit closer. Oh, that's embarrassing. I mean, I can go now quickly and leave you here, David. I'm going to have to. Sorry. Turn the volume down because I've got to strip this thing. Maybe enough petrol filtering through this to get a bit closer to it. Because it's mostly down. And I don't have to walk so far. Before it gets dark. So with the car facing down, it's better time. Fuel pickup doesn't come on. But yes, there's a fuel. Looked at it this morning. Thought it would be enough for 2 miles. The more we don't see animals, the more fuel I use. So, go with the last question again. Sorry, I was preoccupied. try and maybe squeeze a bit of a few hundred meters out of it. Aaron, what we can do is, if you could come down, jeez, I really don't want anybody driving my Land Rover. No way we're going anywhere right now. Yeah, but it doesn't help. You can maybe come down to fetch me at the river. It'll take me 15 minutes while it's still light to walk down to the river. Come and fetch me at the bottom of the road that comes out of, when we drive out of camp, and then take me back to fetch my Land Rover with the petrol. Wish I could just get over that slope there. Just get down to that slope and get a little bit closer. Use the ignition to just drive the car a bit slower, a bit closer to that little slope. Use the gravity drive to try and get down. Okay, maybe if you can ask Mika to find Hendrik from River Lodge, maybe with Hendrik's Land Rover he can bring me a drum of petrol with that funnel. Yeah, please, if he can find Hendrik with that Land Rover from River Lodge, or I don't think Adam is there, but Hendrik should be around from River Lodge. Maybe he can use the River Lodge Land Rover, because he's not going to get here with his bucky. And I don't know if Mika knows where this is. Also, we're going to just have to cut stream. Sorry folks, we're going to say